There is a method of finding out this for platinum sensitive patient using a desktop model, basically called the desktop AGO, which tells us with a very high success rate in a patient who can be operated or cannot be operated, basically. So this is something new that's come in. But what does evidence say? Evidence says there's no current evidence of any randomized trial to suggest that we go for surgery in a patient who's got relapsed ovarian cancer. 6 to 12 months doesn't mean much. There are methods of scoring these patients, which is out there, as you can see. And it does show that there is a survival benefit if you pick up the right patients. So platinum-based chemotherapy is there, which is I'm going to talk about. AGO score is useful in some patients to decide who's going to be operated. And if you can operate, if they have favorable biologies, it does make a difference to treatment. So the basic treatment for all of it is drugs. And as you can see, that's a confusing slide. It's got everything there. I cannot cover that. My brief doesn't allow me because before I came up, my 20 minutes were curtailed to 17 minutes when I was told. So it's a randomized clinical trial which looks at all this and tells you that if you are using a platinum-based trial with one of those drugs like paclitaxel or gemcitabine or your PLD, that is your liposomal, pegylated liposomal doxorubicin, you can have a benefit. A similar chart which will tell you that actually if you're looking at it carefully, there is very little to choose in the sensitive group, any of the drugs. And basically these drugs are chosen on the basis of toxicity and how you handle it. Okay, so if you're using a non-platinum, we do have results to show some activity, specifically for tocoperoxime and PLD and for paclitaxel, but on today's day, this is not an acceptable option and not a method. These are just the papers to tell you all that in a sensitive patient, it's carboplatinum or platinum-based therapy, usually carboplatinum, that will always be preferred. In a forest plant, as we would see that the gains are there, and the hazard ratio says that we have almost a 30% benefit in decreased deaths. So as we would see that basically if you have a platinum sensitive disease and if you're using the cutoff values, there is a benefit for using a platinum based doublet. And please remember the usual that is used is gemcitabine or a platinum your PLD, because this gives you an advantage of no alopecia and neuropathy which may be existing from the previous treatment which the patient has received. Just to tell you of a non-platinum regime using a drug called trabactin and PLD, one would see that there appears to be a benefit for trabactin PLD combination for a 1.7 months benefit in progression-free survival. And if you follow this up with platinum, that's where the gain is, that you would see a definite improvement in the median survival time. This is something that is, you can, if you prolong the platinum-free interval, you gain in this particular situation. All right. The other was just a trial, and I guess everyone knows about this, the Calypso trial. This was actually looking at a combination of pegylated liposomal doxorubicin versus paclitaxel with carboplatinum. Advantage, no alopecia, no neuropathy or arthralgia in this group of PLD. It has got a safer profile in that sense. Manageable toxicities which are there, but hand-foot syndrome can be very bad. Did Calypso solve most of the problems? No, Calypso didn't. Although Calypso was meant to solve Ulysses' all problems, it just did not. And when he went back home, he had all the problems. So this is where bevacizumab comes in at this stage. And as you would see, there have been 4 major trials. I'm going to leave out the frontline trials and stick to the recurrent trials, only the Ocean and Aurelia, and go ahead with that. The Ocean trial was basically in a platinum-sensitive disease using gemcitabine carboplat combined with bevacizumab or placebo till the time of a period of your progression. Bevacizumab or placebo was used. The first analysis showed that there is an advantage of almost 4 months in the case of bevacizumab-based protocol. By the time of a third interim analysis, which was presented in 2012, it seemed to have disappeared as overall survival. But this did give it its registration in the month of November in 2014. So that is something that we have with a higher response rate, quick response rate. This may be important in a symptomatic patient because of disease where we can use it.